Chicago-born rapper Lil Durk appeared before a federal judge in Florida this morning. He was arrested there Thursday in a murder for...
Lil Durk got reportedly snitched on by OTF Jam. He allegedly wore wire for multiple years.
Without bond. This comes only hours after 5 people associated with his music business were also accused and taking part in that murder-for-hire plot.
I don't even remember that night. That was so long ago. You know how that go. Man, I don't even remember 2 months ago.
So, you know the saying, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. Well, it seems like that might be playing out big time here. Durk's recent arrest may have been triggered by Quando's cousin, but now it's looking like Quando himself could be in the line of fire after some explosive details Durk and his crew allegedly let slip. It's got everyone thinking if this is just about to become a game of telling on one another.
Lil Durk got reportedly snitched on by OTF Jam. He allegedly wore wire for multiple years.
Now everybody remembers that whole tragedy with King Von back in 2020.
Yeah, Rick and Sean, according to GBI, rapper King Von and his group were at Opium nightclub before making their way here to Monaco Hookah Lounge, then to the parking lot where chaos ensued.
Well, word is that this could have been a setup, and Quando Rondo might have pushed the right buttons so King Von would come at them ready to fight. This was what supposedly led to Von's death, and in response, Von's crew, the OTF gang, apparently sought revenge, going after Quando and his people in LA. A fiasco that ended up with Lil Pop losing his life. But if you think that's the end of it, think again. Rumor has it that OTF may be gearing up to drop some wild revelations that could shake things up even more, and things are supposedly about to get really messy, so let's dive in.
Hey, Terrell and Tanya, Chicago-born rapper Lil Durk appeared before a federal judge in Florida this morning. He was arrested there Thursday in a murder for...
Going back to November 2020, tragedy struck when 26-year-old Chicago rapper and songwriter Devin Daquan Bennett, better known as King Von, was fatally shot during a nightclub brawl in Atlanta. This wasn't just any shootout, it was between him and fellow rapper Quando Rondo, who used to be close to Von back in the day.
I'm saying though, they got 60 some dirty ass going on. I'm talking about hey, listen though, man, the nigga on 60.
The hip-hop community was shook, and fans were quick to criticize Quando, questioning how things could go so far between two people who had once been friends. Many believed Von's death was directly tied to his beef with Quando, and here's how that intense situation really erupted. King Von had originally signed with Lil Durk, while Quando was under NBA YoungBoy's label. Their beef seemed to kick off because each was close with their record label's more seasoned mentors. Von already had tensions with YoungBoy, Quando's mentor, and things hit a tipping point when Von was seen hanging out with YoungBoy's ex, Johnnya.
He said, why? Man, whatever. It's upset. Who, huh? Who, huh?
Von tried to clear things up, saying they were just making music, but the internet ran with it, and it stirred up drama between the two. Interestingly, just the day before the incident on November 5th, Von even tried to squash the rumors in a video, saying, "Ain't no rap beef and ain't no real beef unless somebody got shot or something." Whether it was a misunderstanding or something more, it seems Quando and his people might have taken that as a challenge to prove their loyalty to YoungBoy. Now, despite all this, Quando was still on good terms with Durk, who had a big influence on Von's career. In fact, Durk had even featured on Quando's track, Other Side. But Von's issues with YoungBoy ended up dragging Quando into the mess. Things spiraled to the point where Quando allegedly took the beef way too far, with people saying he was ready to make a move on Von barely a week after Von's album dropped. It's worth noting that Von's issues with YoungBoy ran deep. Both had come up hard in the streets long before they became rap stars. Von was a known figure in Chicago's tough neighborhoods, while YoungBoy was making his name in Baton Rouge. Back then, Von, Durk, and their guys were vibing to YoungBoy's tracks on IG Live and repping his music, so they could have been unstoppable together in the industry. But something changed along the way, and Von eventually started throwing shade on YoungBoy's music, questioning his lyrics. That's when it all started going downhill, leading us to one of hip-hop's most shocking tragedies. So picture this. One day, Von's chilling on IG Live, listening to YoungBoy's track Play With Us. Midway through, he's like, "Man, what the heck is YoungBoy even talking about here? Dude's wildin' on this track and he ain't even like that. Just a whole lot of cap in your raps."
From this song, bro.
What?
You talking crazy on this man.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
On his ass now.
On his
All that
ass.
cap. You got cap.
Now, normally YoungBoy would have clapped back in a heartbeat, but this time he let it slide. At this point, things could have just fizzled out, and honestly, it wasn't that deep yet. But things heated up a couple years later when Von took things a step further. He posted a pic chilling with YoungBoy's ex and baby mama, Jania, which of course caught YoungBoy's attention.
He said, "Wife."
Man, whatever.
It's upset. Who, huh? Who, huh?
YoungBoy fired back with a post featuring a pic of him and his son, captioning it, "I'm gonna make sure my son F yo daughter since you trolling." It didn't end there. YoungBoy hit the studio with Asian Doll, who'd just broken up with Von, adding fuel to the fire. Von didn't directly call out YoungBoy, but he threw shade in a tweet saying, "That new shit y'all got is garbage. I got some stuff on your baby moms that'll make you not even want to claim your kids and stuff." Everyone knew what he was hinting at, and it became clear that this wasn't just some small beef. It was escalating fast. YoungBoy only added more to the chaos when he dropped his track Dead Trolls, which fans felt had some serious subliminals aimed at Von. At this point, Von had moved to Atlanta, trying to focus on music and step away from the drama in Chicago. But in the song, YoungBoy allegedly threw a shot with the line, "Travel round with hella troops, I got pictures of you, Lil PB. Plan on staying something in Atlanta too. Want get up with me, but I don't F with you." Right after that, the internet blew up with social media shots from their crews. Quando Rondo, Lil Reese, and a bunch of others got involved. Then Quando's homie, Lil Tim, amped things up by warning everyone to leave Quando alone, tweeting, "N from Chirac, better chill on my end, Quando." Turns out, the tension between Von's crew and YoungBoy's squad didn't start there. Back in 2019, someone suggested to Lil Reese that he should feature YoungBoy on a track, and Reese shut it down real quick, saying, "I wouldn't dare pay that Lil Boy to hop on a track with me." Still, Von kept denying any real beef was there. He even told DJ Academics that people on the internet were just stirring things up, making fans think the whole situation was maybe just industry drama. But that didn't last long, because just a day after Von publicly brushed off the beef rumors, he ran into Quando in Atlanta. That's when things went south fast, and rumor has it, Quando made the call that night that ended with Von's tragic death.
So I'm letting this group come by. Then you know what hit me. You feel me? Boom, bam. Man, like, I lied to you not, man. I lied to you not.
In an interview with Angela Yee, Quando opened up about that night, explaining that he didn't even realize it was Von when everything went down. He wasn't expecting Von to roll up on him and start swinging like that, especially because he had always been on good terms with Lil Durk.
You feel me? Boom, bam. Man, like, I lied to you not, man. I lied to you not.
In fact, Quando shared that he'd been a Durk fan since he was 12 and appreciated how Durk gave him free features early in his career. But once Von threw the first punch, the situation escalated fast, turning into a full-blown brawl, and soon shots were fired. Tragically, Von was reportedly shot by Quando's friend Lil Tim. It was a devastating incident, one that many believe could have been avoided, but Von's death didn't mark the end of the drama. Right after the news broke, people started linking his passing to the beef with YoungBoy. Asian Doll quickly jumped on live to shut down those rumors, saying, "I got a song with YoungBoy, Von got a song with YoungBoy, who's the op? Only ops are you oppa people in our business be." Not long before his death, Von himself had told DJ Academics there wasn't any real beef, but it was clear YoungBoy wasn't exactly on the same page. YoungBoy dropped a track, Bring the Hook, where he took a direct shot, rapping, "And this that Squid Game, O-Block pack, get rolled up. Emder what they told us, Atlanta boy get fold up." That line calling out O-Block sparked a massive reaction, and it became the track that really drew hard lines in the sand. Fans and crews started picking sides, and O-Block clapped back hard, posting videos of themselves burning YoungBoy's 4KT flags. DJ Academics even reacted, saying Youngboy was on demon time. But Lil Reese downplayed it, saying Youngboy was just rapping like any other rapper trying to sound tough. Things got messier when NLE Choppa stepped into the mix. He commented, "I stamped that" under Reese's post, which was taken as him siding with Von and O'Block. This time, Youngboy didn't hold back. He quickly fired back with the track "Know Like I Know," where he took a clear shot at Choppa, rapping, "I bet your mama would be destroyed, nigga, when we send your stupid aw to God for making statements choosing sides about my beef with them. Lil boys, I can say I saw it. You can say I was your favorite, better stay up in your place, beef around get your face split." He went on with lines that seemed aimed at both Durk and Reese, rapping, "Just like your friend, you gon' bite the dust, nigga / you ain't ready to see some brains laying around the club." Youngboy was making it clear he wasn't down with anyone siding with his rivals, but Choppa later clarified, telling DJ Academics that he hadn't been picking a side. He just wanted to speak up for Von, who wasn't around to defend his name. Choppa claimed he barely read Reese's post before he commented and didn't expect it to be taken as choosing sides. But by then, the damage was done, and the rift between these camps only grew deeper, with social media turning into a battleground for taunts, sneak disses, and bold declarations. It was clear that what had started as minor industry tensions had snowballed into a serious feud that seemed way beyond repair. So last Thursday, things finally took a dramatic turn when federal authorities in Chicago made some big moves, arresting several suspects in Houston who were tied to the Kayang of Quando Rondo's cousin. They rounded up 5 men: Kayvon London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Bryan Lindsay, and Asa. All 5 were hit with some heavy charges, including conspiracy to commit murder for hire that led to a death, and using a machine gun in a crime that ended in a fatality.
Without bond. This comes only hours after 5 people associated with his music business were also accused and taking part in that for hire plot.
Federal prosecutors are saying these men are connected to Lil Durk's OTF crew, and they're building a strong case with what looks like some serious evidence. Apparently, travel expenses, including flights and rental cars, were booked using an OTF-linked credit card. They're even suggesting that someone from OTF dangled big music opportunities to motivate people willing to go after Quando Rondo. To break down how this all spiraled, it goes back to August 19th, 2022, when Quando Rondo and his crew were ambushed at a gas station in Beverly Grove, Los Angeles. Quando managed to come out unharmed, but his cousin, Saviaya Robinson, tragically didn't make it out alive. Law enforcement suspects this hit was actually revenge for King Von's death, as Von was a close friend of Durk's and lost his life in 2020 after a fight escalated outside an Atlanta club with Quando's crew. For King Von, his ties to the street started young. His first trip to juvie happened after he robbed someone at gunpoint and jacked their car. Since he was still just a kid, the judge decided to give him a break on one condition. Von would go to boot camp where he'd get a serious reality check and hopefully see a way out of the lifestyle he was headed toward. But the boot camp plan fell through when he got picked up for carrying a firearm not long after. His first stint in juvie lasted 14 months, and after the second, he was in for another 15. The longest time he served was a 3.5-year stretch while waiting for trial, all because of an incident back in 2014. Von, just 19 at the time, allegedly shot and offed a guy named Malcolm Stuckey at a party in Englewood and wounded 2 others. During the same incident, his friend Michael Wade reportedly fired off around 15 rounds. Wade took a hard fall and was sentenced to 28 years behind bars, but Von beat the charges and walked free, ready to turn things around. Once out, Von focused on his music career, channeling everything he'd been through into his lyrics. He was making real progress too, but in February 2019, his rise came to a halt when he was arrested again, this time in Atlanta. This arrest was serious. He was with Lil Durk, and the 2 of them were accused of shooting at and robbing a man named Alexander Witherspoon in a restaurant parking lot. Witherspoon survived the attack, but the incident left Von and Durk facing charges of attempted murder, gang association, and possession of a firearm.
I have none to hide. Like, I have nothing to run from.
Did you do it? Did you shoot this man? Did you commit the other crimes of which you're accused?
No.
Von was held without bond for a while, and Durk ended up out on bail. paying $300,000 for his freedom. By June 2020, Von was released too. Though he'd managed to beat the odds more than once, it's clear the streets held onto him tightly. Despite his determination to stay focused on his music, the life he grew up in always seemed to find a way to pull him back. Durk himself isn't a stranger to legal trouble. He's had plenty of run-ins with the law over the years, and Von's death seemed to mark a darker shift in his story. Going back to 2019, Durk and Von were facing attempted MDR charges in Atlanta for reportedly shooting at a man and robbing him. In 2022, those charges were dropped, sparing Durk from jail time, but he couldn't stay out of trouble for long. Now, recent developments reveal that there may be an informant within Durk's own circle spilling some big secrets. This anonymous source, using a middleman to stay protected, claims that Durk's tough guy persona is just that, a front, and that deep down, he's genuinely afraid of the feds coming for him.
Just one time, and he told me he was scared to get locked up in prison. The man's got 6 kids. Why wouldn't he be scared?
To really grasp Durk's story, though, you have to rewind all the way back to 2011, when his legal issues first began. Durk's brushes with the law from 2011 to 2016 weren't just random incidents. They were a turning point, shaping his life and career in ways fans might not realize. At just 17, he was grinding hard, struggling to provide basic things like food for himself. No matter what he tried, though, he kept hitting dead ends, and it eventually took a toll. Frustrated and feeling cornered, Durk started making some tough choices, finding himself drawn into the streets to make ends meet.
When my boy Durk first caught a charge, life was tough on the streets of Inglewood, you know. Myself, Durk, and some of the family used to live at his grandma's house, but we didn't have nothing, so we looked to the streets.
Soon he became a part of the Black Disciples, one of Chicago's most notorious gangs, and around that time, he welcomed his first child into the world, adding even more pressure to an already challenging life. Every day was a fight for survival, pushing him further into the choices that would shape both his life and his career. Joining the Black Disciples set off a chain reaction that would throw Durk into the thick of street life, and into his first serious run-in with the law in October 2011. One night, Durk was cruising around with a bottle of liquor in one hand and the steering wheel in the other when he got pulled over by the cops. During the stop, a quick search turned up a loaded gun in his car, landing him in handcuffs. He managed to get out on bond, but trouble seemed to follow him closely. And by 2012, he found himself back behind bars, this time for 3 months. Those months in lockup forced him to take a hard look at where his choices were leading him. Later on, he'd share that the experience made him seriously rethink his direction in life.
I took a year, and I was like, man, I'm gonna stay out the streets. And I was like, I just got signed. Being in Chicago, man, I don't know. Wrong place, wrong time, like I said.
Once he got out, Durk knew he needed a fresh start. Determined to make something of himself, he turned his focus to music. He poured his energy into recording, using platforms like MySpace and YouTube to share his work. And before long, his raw talent and hard work began to pay off. Songs like Sneak Dissing and I'm a Hitta started picking up steam, catching the attention of key players like Chief Keef and French Montana. His career was gaining momentum, and soon his music was spreading beyond Chicago's city limits. By 2013, Durk had already dropped 4 mixtapes, which brought serious attention his way. This buzz led to a partnership between his group, Only the Family, OTF, and Def Jam Recordings. That same year, Rolling Stone even listed one of his mixtapes as one of the best of the year, a huge milestone for an artist on the rise. But just as it seemed he was about to hit his stride, Durk found himself in hot water again. This time, he was caught with a loaded .40 caliber weapon on South Green Street in Chicago, which wasn't just a minor offense. As a felon, he wasn't supposed to be carrying a firearm at all. Facing serious charges, Durk's lawyer managed to pull together 9 affidavits from witnesses claiming Durk wasn't the one with the gun. Luckily, one witness even stepped forward to say the gun was theirs, helping him avoid another setback. All of these experiences, the good, the bad, and the in-between, played a huge role in shaping Durk as an artist. Every brush with the law, every success, and every hardship became fuel for his music, turning his life story into lyrics that fans connected with on a deeper level. Through it all, he kept moving forward, using his past to drive his art and give listeners an unfiltered look into the journey that made him who he is today.